Hi, welcome to Parkour Today. I'm Bill Weisner. With me today we have Adrian Tamami. Hello Adrian, how are you today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Doing fine. I'd like to ask you a little bit about parkour.
All right.
Okay, if you could give me just a little quick breakdown about what parkour is.
Sure. So parkour is a physical discipline that teaches you how to use your body to move through your environment and overcome obstacles safely and efficiently. Basically, we use movements like climbing, running, jumping, rolling, balancing, all those sort of basic movements, and use those to get through our space.
As you progress, what is entailed? I mean, do you learn more moves? What happens?
Right. So parkour is definitely all about progressions. As I was saying, anyone can do it. So we kind of take you from this is where you are and let's get you somewhere better. So it's very individualized in the sense that in my training, I'm always trying to be the best version of me at that point. So, you know, at the beginner level, you learn, there's definitely basic movements to learn. You learn jumping and landing safely, you know, how to land on the balls of your feet and sort of absorb that impact. You learn rolling, how to fall safely, and then you learn vaulting, which is basically how to get over an obstacle, like a bench or some sort of block like that. And there's different vaults that you learn, and then sort of climbing basics, etc. So that's at the beginning level, and then from there you kind of take those skills, add to them, become more comfortable with them, learn about your body and, you know, what its potential is, what its current limitations are, and you kind of go from there.
Okay. I think we have another clip. If you wouldn't mind maybe going through and explaining some of the intricacies of
Sure.
some of the actions that go on with that.
All right. So that's Travis, our lead program director. He was the zombie for this video. So there we're basically playing zombie tag in this video, and there he did a wall run getting up the wall, and I'm using vault techniques to get over those walls and run away from the zombie. That's not really parkour, running down the stairs. Again here, lowering myself down off the wall. He's using more vault techniques than a roll. The roll is used when you do a sort of high drop onto the ground. It helps you transfer that momentum so you don't hurt your knees and your body when you drop onto the ground. You can quickly, you sort of spring and roll so that you don't hurt yourself.
So do we look at, so when you survey a site, are you looking at every potential route? How do you look at a site?
So, for example, in this video, we were training at Gateway Park in Roslyn, and I mean, you basically kind of, I don't know, I guess you look around you and it just sort of, we see the world differently, you know? You see things that you can jump over, you can climb up, and I think every tracer, which is what a parkour practitioner is called, sees things differently, which is why it's so fun to train with other people, because, you know, my roommate might say, oh, we can go over this and under that, and let's go this way. And I'll try her route, and then I'll be like, well, what about this? We can, you know, that part looks fun. So a lot of training with other people is giving each other challenges and telling them how you see things.
Okay, so to this point, is parkour more of a solitary sport or is it a team sport? How do you, as a tracer, you know, how do you look at the sport?
I wouldn't call it a team sport, but I guess maybe you could compare it to, I don't know. I mean, it's definitely individual in the sense that, you know, I don't think anyone's quite at the same level as anyone else, you know? Everyone's at their own level, their own comfort with movement. But that being said, you know, I do go train by myself, absolutely, but it's also very fun to train with other people, you know? So it's, and we'll follow the leader, and we'll do, you know, the same movements, but it's not necessarily, I don't know, you can train alone and you can train in groups, but I don't think it's not a team sport in the sense that you're the same, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. So say we have someone who wants to join your gym. Do we have any contact information? What are we looking at?
Absolutely. So my gym, APK, American Parkour Academy, it's hosted by Primal Fitness, which is an old firehouse on M Street, kind of where New York Ave and New Jersey meet. And the website is americanparkour.com.
So knowing that a person can go in and join at any time, is there a recommended amount of training? Like, should a person starting out train heavier or less, or, you know?
I definitely think it depends on their previous experience with physical activities. I mean, personally, I was a gymnast as a kid, and then I did competitive cheerleading for years, so I already had that sort of some level of strength training and body awareness, so it was a lot easier for me to pick up parkour just because of those things. And you know, I went really quickly through the basics, and now I'm working on technique and all of that. But I think if you're not as comfortable with movement, it's, you know, you don't want to kill yourself and train every day, because you'll just wear out your body. I think it's good to find a balance with whatever you're comfortable with, and, you know, work out a few times a week and take it from there, and as you're comfortable.
Okay, well, we have to wrap up now. Thank you very much for appearing with us, and we hope that you see more people show up, and we see more people running around and jumping off of things.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So for the purposes of time, we're just going to do a very basic warm-up, and I'll show you some of the movements we generally do to warm up our bodies. Okay. And one of the first ones is called QM, quadrupedal movement. So moving on all fours. I always think of the way a lizard moves, like opposite arm, opposite leg. So I'm going to have you come down here with me. And what you're going to do is you're going to set up your body like this. So put your right leg up near your right hand. Yeah. So you're on the left side. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to step with your left arm and your right leg at the same time. So you're going to go like that. Okay. And take another step.
Oh, this is really hard. Oh, okay.
All right.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, so really try to kind of link that movement together and keep your other limbs sort of where they are.
Okay.
So if you notice, I'm here, and then I come down to the next position.
All right, so then I'm moving this.
Yeah, left arm, right
Oh,
leg.
and this foot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
and
I
you want
see.
to try to keep your hips sort of centered and, like that.
Wow, this is like really hard.
So that's QM, so
So this would be something that, like, I would have to know how to do before I advanced on?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good warm up for your whole body, and that's one of the sort of basic movements we would do in a warm up.
Okay.
We also do it backwards.
Oh.
Do you want to learn that?
I would try to learn that.
All right,
yeah.
we're gonna try it. So same position.
Okay.
Good. You're gonna do the same thing, but you're gonna really be pushing with your shoulders this time. So, where am I? Yeah, so my left arm and my right leg are gonna go back together, like that.
Okay, so left arm and right leg. Oh. Okay, so I kind of understand it, but I can't get the body to do it. So now it's the right arm and the left leg.
Yeah.
Have to move together.
Yeah.
Ah, no.
That one's, for some reason, really hard to wrap your brain around. And then we also do it sideways. So I'm not sure which direction to face, but you kind of start in a sort of squat position like this.
Okay.
And then you reach out to the side of you and move like that.
Wow, that looks really cool when you do it. So I'm pretty sure I don't have the mobility in this ankle to do that. So
All right.
What
We
would
won't
I
push it.
So what would I do? Like, I come to class and I'm like, well, my ankle doesn't move that way.
Then we would work with other movements.
Okay.
Maybe not take it quite as low. I don't know. How far down can you comfortably squat?
Anything that doesn't pull my heel up, basically.
Okay. Interesting. So in parkour, we try to be on the balls of our feet most of the time.
Okay.
So when you're jumping and landing, you're always on the balls of your feet.
Okay.
And that's sort of how you absorb that momentum.
Okay.
So we won't go down too far since you can't
Right.
do that. That's about where you're at.
Yeah, I'm like here right now, but you want me to be up on my...
Yeah, you want to be on the balls of your feet. Not necessarily, you don't have to like bring your heels up, it's just sort of where the weight is, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
All right. So that's the sort of basic jumping and landing we would learn.
Okay.
You know, you don't want to, I'm a former gymnast, so this is the example I'll use, but in gymnastics, you know, you have the spring floor, you have the mats, you can kind of
Right.
bounce off of it, but, and it's a different transfer of momentum, but with this, if you land like that on concrete, really not going to feel good.
Right.
So we have to learn how to land and sort of absorb that momentum
I see.
into
Okay.
our body. So you kind of land on the balls of your feet, bend your knees a little bit, and soak that in.
Okay. Right, so you're not landing just flat against the ground.
Right. Yeah. So
Okay.
try to jump up and.
All right. First jump since I broke my leg, so up and then, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, I can actually jump.
Yeah.
All right,
Great.
cool.
You're not falling. You're not dying.
Right, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like my ankle's not breaking.
See? You can do parkour. You
Oh
can
my
jump
God.
and land.
I just did jump and land. That's so cool.
Yeah, so from there we would kind of, you know, you can jump off of things and onto the ground or jump up on top of things. And from jumping and landing, we start working on precision jumps, which, as it sounds, is jumping to something precisely.
Okay.
So actually, we can use these lines here.
Okay.
If we turn this way. And basically, same idea, you want to land on the balls of your feet,
Okay.
absorb that momentum, and pick a line that looks like a comfortable distance for you,
Okay.
and jump to it.
All right, and then I'm just going to do the same jump and land that we just did.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to go right there.
All right.
So, oh, I fell a little bit short. So is it like keep going until you hit your target, or?
Yeah, so let's say I'm going to try to reach this line right
Wow.
here.
Okay.
And if, let's give a, I'm going to try to reach that line over there.
Okay.
This is about where I made it.
Okay.
So I haven't made it yet, but that's my target. So I'm going to keep jumping and keep working on strength in my legs until I can make it to that line.
Okay.
So that's the sort of progression. You know, you set a goal for yourself and you keep trying until you make it.
All right, so if I pick that line and I fell short the first time, just keep going until I hit it.
Absolutely.
And then I would like pick a new goal that's maybe a little farther.
Yeah.
I totally get that. Okay, cool. Now I want to see if
Try
I can
your
do
line
it.
again.
Okay, so that's my line right there. So, almost.
Balls of your feet and really soak it in.
Okay. All right, so here's my new line. It's closer to me.
Very good.
That was it.
And sometimes we have to do that. Sometimes we have
Right.
to say, this isn't quite in my reach yet. I'm going to work for that line, and then I'll get to the next one.
Okay, cool. So it looks like I just did a jump.
There you go.
All right, that's so cool.
So yeah, that's some jumping. And let's see, what else can we do? Obviously, generally, this is a very sort of basic start. Start getting comfortable moving. We generally like to train outside in our urban environment, lots of stuff to play with. Inside the gym, we have all sorts of obstacles we can play with, and it's a nice environment to start learning in. It's hard to work in a studio space, but there's still a lot you can do. Since you have sort of ankle weakness, not as much mobility, some exercises we can do, which we also do in a warm-up, is you walk on your toes.
Okay.
Yeah. And since we don't have a lot of space, we're going to walk backwards on our heels now.
Okay. It's funny, like I limp backwards.
Yep. And then what we also do is we walk on the outside of our feet. Is that going to hurt?
Yeah, that's not. I mean, I can walk on the outside of one foot.
All right.
Is that useful?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And you can walk on the inside of your feet too. And this kind of gives an all-around mobility for your ankle, which is good because when you're doing a lot of jumping and landing, you want to make sure your ankles can handle it.
That's interesting. I can feel the difference between the inside and the outside.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, everyone will have a different... what's funny is our bodies aren't always even. I'm a lot more flexible sometimes, like leaning this way than I am that way. So it's, you know, it's not that strange for one ankle to be more...
So does that change how you approach something if you know that about yourself? Like, I have to go around this side, not that side, because I'm...
Well, it depends on your reasoning for doing that. We definitely try to train both sides of our bodies because, you know, if you're moving through your environment and, I don't know, let's say there's, you know, something I have to get over right here, right? And I'm running towards it and, oh, I'm on my left foot. I have to be comfortable taking off from this left foot. I can't only be comfortable taking off on my right foot because that's, otherwise I'm just going to go.
Right, because, so if you're coming back from an injury like I am, is it better to work both legs to the point of the weaker leg and bring them along together, or can I work my stronger leg a little more advanced?
I would say you want to strengthen both sides.
Okay.
I'm not certified in personal training or anything like that, so I don't have that sort of expert fitness knowledge.
Right.
But just from my experience in physical therapy, tearing various ankles and whatnot, I would always strengthen both at the same time, even if one was weaker.
Okay.
And you can kind of work with it.
So, what would be like a cool down? Now we've done all this like physical activity. Is there like a useful cool down or stretch or anything that you would do?
Yeah, really important to stretch, obviously, and that also kind of depends on the instructor and the person.
Okay.
Me coming from gymnastics background, I would do a lot of gymnastic stretching.
Okay.
But you know, if we've been doing jumping and landing and that sort of thing, we'd probably just do like basic lunges to stretch those hip flexors.
Okay.
And yeah, you want to really sit into that weight.
Oh, so my back leg should be straight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then do the other leg.
It's funny, like you can see where my balance is still off. So then this would be like, okay, we're cooling our bodies down. So then we'd be like, yes, good workout.
Yeah.